Charanjot Singh Nanda has served in various committees of ICAI in various capacities, including South Asian Federation of Accountants and Committee on Internal Audits. He has contributed immensely to the improvement in transparency, accountability, and governance. SRCC Wings of Fire extends a heartiest welcome to CA Charanjot Singh Nanda. Now, I invite Sir to the dais. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation. I now request sir to address the audience.
A very good morning, my young aspiring chartered accountants. We'll start the journey with a discussion about the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. All of you are well aware that the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India was set up an Act of Parliament way back on 1st July 1949. But you may not be aware what was the purpose of starting this institute. You are aware that the institute was set up an Act of Parliament on 1st July 1949. While the most important document of this democracy, the Constitution, was adopted on 26 January 1950. The pertinent question that arises is, what prompted the Constituent Assembly to set up an Institute of Chartered Accountants of India when even the Constitution was not in place? The answer is very simple, very candid, very forthcoming. They wanted a strong band of professionals to lead this august country into an era where industrialist progression and individualistic thought processes converge. They create a system wherein the country starts moving on its own. I was very happy when Mr. Naveen told me about your society, SRCC Wings of Fire. We have a very important part in the institute. I was a member both of Peer Review Board and Quality Review Board. What is Peer Review Board? Peer Review Board essentially is a board where a practicing chartered accountant visits a contemporary chartered accountant and sees how he could help him in doing and providing best of the services. I was told by Mr. Naveen that the society undertakes the initiative of coaching students, all those who have qualified their IPCC, go ahead across in the country and coach. I want all of you to give a big round of applause. This is the greatest initiative a person can take in his tenure. I want to put this on record. I was so overwhelmed when I listened to this. Our profession is a great profession, undoubtedly. But when at the start of the profession, when you start your journey, at that time you have a feeling that you have to contribute for the cause of profession. This is really a very noble cause and a really affordable circumstance, you should say, which would put all people into the palace. Now, coming on to my inaugural address, I want to tell you one thing which will always let you move ahead in life. Our course of Chartered Accountancy has been designed in such a fashion. I have been part of the Central Council for 12 long years and practically have been in each and every committee. The basic purpose of a student doing an articleship is to create an institution wherein he understands his profile and his performance levels in times to come. I'm not aware how many of you have set your roadmap for the future. If you look at your theme, myriad roles. What do you mean by myriad? Infinite, unlimited roles, infinite challenges, and last, and the great one, is one profession. This august profession derives from itself the power, the strength to perform. I have seen chartered accountants in practically all areas. So many directors who are chartered accountants, actors who are chartered accountants who are IAS officers, chartered accountants who are into those areas where people do not go. I have seen chartered accountant go and work at the last 10 in the NGOs. I have seen chartered accountants fight at the border. I have seen chartered accountant lead the police force. I have seen chartered accountant go ahead and take care of the entire investment banking initiative all across the world. For your information, if you go into investment banking sector, you will see that close to 80% of chartered accountants lead investment banks. More than 68% of them take care of the arbitrage business that occurs during all bourses and exchanges. More than 80% of them own the brokerages houses across the globe. This profession is a great profession. A profession which creates leaders. The only issue which we need to understand is that we need to understand how we need to perform. Once we understand our performance levels, once we understand our movement thought processes, we perform. I'll give an example which I shared yesterday. Yesterday I was in Karnal in a student conference. There was 2 young students of Chartered Accountancy. I will not name them, they are very famous in this moment, and there is something which may pull them back. They joined their office and training, and they met a young boy who was a peon there. They prompted the young boy to do CA. The young person who had come from Tamil Nadu could not speak Hindi also. It is a story of New Delhi. Somehow, that boy who was only a matriculate did his graduation. आपने पढ़ा होगा 10वीं pass graduation करें. In that scheme, he did his graduation. 3 of them sat for their exams, intermediate exams. God was so kind on that boy, he cleared his intermediate. The other 2 people couldn't clear. The boy in the record time during his training did his chartered accountancy. Look at our profession, same thing. What your society does. Teach people. They did not teach the chartered accountant, but they brought a pain into this profession. And I tell you the name of the boy. The name of the boy was R. Kumar, who was State Minister of Finance in Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee's government. You have so many instances. I remember an old man came to my house. He was really nearly 50 years old. He said, "Sir, I want to do CPT." I said, "Then who stops you?" He said, "I don't have my 12th certificate." Mr. H.K. Jain was the head at that time. I gave a call to Mr. Jain. I said, "Mr. Jain, if he has a BCom certificate, it is amply clear that he has done his 12th. After 6 months, he came with a sweet box. He had qualified his CPT with his daughter, who was in final. That gentleman, who was a property dealer, qualified his intermediate. And before his daughter, he qualified his Chartered Accountancy course. I want to tell you one thing very clearly. It is this course that drives us. And I'm so happy to see here, एक बहुत उम्दा शेर है उर्दू में जो कहता है, मंजिल तो मिल ही जाएगी थोड़ा भटककर ही सही, मंजिल तो मिल ही जाएगी थोड़ा भटककर ही सही, गुमराह तो वो हैं जो घरों से निकले ही नहीं. You are here. 5-point action. I'll tell you how to create the best out of you. 1. Remember very candidly, very clearly, you are the best. If you want to have an evaluation of yourself, go and ask your parents. खास तौर से अपनी माँ से पूछे. Your mother will tell what your qualities are, what you are for her. You can do anything. Yesterday I was with Mohit Gupta, who was the final topper. He was number 1. His real brother was in merit list number 4. His mother, his sister had come to see me, and even one of his cousin sister who qualified both groups came to see me. The boy was from a very humble background. He could understand only one thing very clearly. It is his notion of success that drives him to success. Never undermine yourself. You'll be successful. Second action point. Be more technically savvy. Don't leave yourself to syllabus except for the last 4 months. Last 4 months you can go ahead and focus on your syllabus. Before that, you have to study, get involved, and understand the entire ambit of this profession. Our profession doesn't only speak of taxation. It speaks largely of financial market. People who want to build careers in great movements of the markets. Our course is the best course. I remember in 2007, I was making a presentation to Goldman Sachs. And I spoke to their HR head. I said, "Sir, why don't you employ chartered accountants to the front office?" They said, "Sir, they don't know about front office. They do not know about trading." I said, sir, I don't want to enter into an argument. But I want to tell you one thing very clearly. It is only chartered accountants who understand this. I qualified in 1991. Let us discuss the markets. Let us discuss the movements of funds. Let us discuss parking of funds. And for first time, he agreed on record that chartered accountants will be adoring their front offices. And now, let me tell you, it's a good news for you. All investment bankers want chartered accountants in the front office. Technical knowledge, technical impetus, honing your technical skills are very important. Third thing, have a nice personality, have good communication skills. You should understand one thing. A number of people come and ask me, sir, I do not possess good communication skills. My only question to the student is, do you have a Mercedes? He's taken aback. Oh, what a different question. I said, do you own a very good posh house? He said, no, my father has. I said, then wait. Wait for the time. If you understand that you need to have good communication skills, today is the time. Improve your communication skills. Fourth important thing, do not remain attuned to India only. One message which I give in all CA conferences, you have to look at the contemporary world, how they perform, what are the areas where they go ahead and do work. Cost cutting has been a great initiative when you speak of myriad roles. Leave aside cost cutting. There are chartered accountants who advise people on product lines. I know a great banker lady who does only product management in banks. I know a lady who is adoring the boards of Indian companies as an independent director, drawing a good sitting fees and advising companies how to exploit their resources. These are different areas where chartered accountants can come. And the last area where you need to move ahead is to remain abreast with times. Can I ask a question from you? How many of you know the story of the Pied Piper of Hamelin? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. एक चीज से मुझे बड़ा दर्द होता है, जब आप सीए करते हैं ना, आप सीए में डूब जाते हैं, आसपास की सारी दुनिया को छोड़ देते, तन्हा हो जाते हैं. If you want to go at the top, you have to be part of the entire initiative. Your focus has to be very clear. I am reminded of our veteran, Shahid-e-Azam, Shahid Bhagat Singh. Shahid Bhagat Singh was a great personality, and somehow the British government was afraid of him. And he was to be executed, he was to be hanged on 24th March. But on 23rd, the government had news that there will be great revolution if he is hanged on 24th. And therefore, in haste, the British government ordered an immediate execution of Shahid Bhagat Singh. As per the international laws, a person cannot be hanged in the evening. Shahid Bhagat Singh was ordered that he'll be hanged in the evening. He went to pay his homage to God, bathed, and then he came to his room. एक कोयले का टुकड़ा उठाकर एक इबारत लिखी अपने जेल खाने की दीवार पर. वो इबारत हम सब के लिए एक सिम्बलम बन गया, हम सब के लिए एक ऐसा अनकहा मैसेज बन गया जो हमारे रगों में डूब गया. उन्होंने लिखा, कुछ इस कदर मेरी फितरत से वाकिफ है मेरी कलम, कुछ इस कदर मेरी फितरत से वाकिफ है मेरी कलम, इश्क लिखना भी चाहूं तो इनकलाब लिखा जाता है, इश्क लिखना भी चाहूं तो इनकलाब लिखा जाता है. For this act which they committed so many years back, the British Parliament has ultimately tendered its apologies to the Pakistan government, because Shahid Bhagat Singh was executed in Banga, which is in Pakistan, and therefore they said that it was wrong to execute Shahid Bhagat Singh at the evening, and therefore they tendered an apology. I want to tell you, before I end my thought process, never derive your thought process from something that has happened. You have to understand that every day is a new day. You have to understand that whatever skills you have acquired, there are two types of your days. Either you waste the whole day or you work. Whatever skill you take, during my college days, I had a press opposite my house. I used to go there for typesetting. Typesetting helped me in two ways. I could improve my vocabulary, and I could understand words which were in vogue at that time. Vocabulary, communication, words, intense expression of your views, not only in personal matters but in professional matters, is something that take you at the top. I want to tell you that if you do your chartered accountancy at the age of 24 or 25, 23 is the time when all of you will do, but I'm taking a leverage of a year or more. If you do your chartered accountancy, join an industry, by the time you are 34, you should be CEO of that industry. By the time you are 38, you are slated to become the CEO. And by the time you are 45, you come up as a CEO of that company, and that company has to be a Fortune 500 company. And by the time you are 48, you adore the board of that company and become an icon. This is the journey which you have to follow. But for following that journey, you will have to first clean your past. एक साहब अपने दोस्त के घर पहुंचे, घंटी मारी, दोस्त ने दरवाजा खोलने में कुछ देर कर दी, बहुत बुरा लगा उनको, पर इससे पहले कि वो चल देते दरवाजा खोला, दोस्त ने दरवाजा खोला, बड़े अनमने ढंग से उन्होंने उसको कहा, क्या बात भाई इतनी देर क्यों कर दी? दोस्त ने कहा, भाई साहब अंदर इंडिया पाकिस्तान का मैच आ रहा था। इंडिया पाकिस्तान का मैच आ रहा हो तो हिंदुस्तानियों के रगों में दौड़ने वाली ऑक्टेन 90% तक बढ़ जाती है। सारे गुस्से को भूलकर उनसे पूछा क्या स्कोर था? उसने कहा बड़ा कंफर्टेबल था, हिंदुस्तान को जीतने के लिए 40 रन चाहिए थे, 4 विकेट थे, 4 ओवर हैं। लेकिन इस बात का सारा अफसोसजनक पहलू यह है कि जब तक वो जाकर सोफा सेट पर कंफर्टेबल हुए, हिंदुस्तान अचानक अनकंफर्टेबल हो गया, 3 विकेट गिर गए। उन्होंने अपने आप को कोसा कि भगवान ये दिन देखने का मुझे अंदर भेजा था, इससे बेहतर होता मैं बेल बजाता रहता, दरवाजा ना खोलता और मैं चल देता। और उसके बाद जब उनकी नजर अपने दोस्त पर पड़ी तो उनका कलेजा बिल्कुल जल गया। हिंदुस्तान की शर्मनाक हार के बावजूद उनका दोस्त पूरी तरह कॉफी में डूबा हुआ था। वो कॉफी पी ही नहीं रहा था, उसकी जिगर झाग निकाल कर भी चाटने की चेष्टा कर रहा था। हिंदुस्तान का बेड़ागर कैसे गद्दार करते हैं देशद्रोही, जय चंद ना हो कहीं का। बहरहाल मैच चलता रहा और आखिरी बॉल पर पहुंचा। आखिरी बॉल पर हिंदुस्तान को जीतने के लिए 5 रन दरकार थे। बैटिंग पे थे हरभजन सिंह भज्जी और बॉलिंग कर रहे थे सैयद अफरीदी। कॉलेज लाइन से सैयद अफरीदी दौड़ते हुए बॉल फेंकने आए। भज्जी को मालूम था कि सिक्सर के बिना काम नहीं बनेगा। He ran after the half volley to hit a sixer, but before he could hit the sixer, the wicket was off. हिंदुस्तान हार गया। इन्होंने माथा पीट लिया, भगवान से फरियाद की कि भगवान ये दिन देखने से बेहतर था कि धरती फट जाती मैं उसमें समा जाता। और उसके बाद तो उनके गुस्से का आपा न रहा जब उन्होंने अपने दोस्त की तरफ देखा। सारी शर्मनाक हार के बावजूद दोस्त पूरी तरह कॉफी से इन्वॉल्व था, निर्लिप्त भाव में कॉफी में डूबा हुआ था, उसके अरोमा को सूंघने की और उसको पीने की चेष्टा कर रहा था। इससे पहले कि जूता उठाकर अपने दोस्त तक फेंकते, एक बड़ा खुशगवार इशारा हुआ, एम्पायर ने नो बॉल करार कर दिया। दोबारा बिसात बिछाई गई। इस बार हरभजन पूरे स्ट्रेंथ के साथ खड़े थे। उन्होंने पिछली स्ट्रेटजी अपनाई। He took the bat and ran up to the half volley and this time he hit a sixer. India won. हिंदुस्तान की जीत से प्रभावित होकर, इंस्पायर्ड होकर ये नाचने लग पड़े। नाचते नाचते खुशी के तरंग क्षणों पे जब इनकी नजर इनके दोस्त पे पड़ी तो दोस्त अभी तक हिंदुस्तान की जीत से बेखबर पूरी तरह कॉफी चुसक रहा था। झुक झुक कर कॉफी में से ढूंढने की कोशिश कर रहा था, मानिंद उसमें से एक समुद्र निकल आएगा। अब इनसे बर्दाश्त न हुआ, इन्होंने कहा देशद्रोही गद्दार, हिंदुस्तान जीत गया तो कॉफी में डूबा हुआ है। दोस्त का जवाब था, भाई साहब ये रीप्ले है। My last parting words to you are, exploit things that entice you. Exploit things that bring the best out of you. I don't say so because I'm a chartered accountant. I would have said so even if I was sitting on a fence. This profession derives unlimited opportunities. This profession brings out the creativity, brings out the technology. A person who's not IT expert, a person who's not IT savvy, will not be called a chartered accountant 2 years from now. You have to bring the best out of you and perform and ensure that your families, your parents who have sent you here are totally justified. I'm speaking to a very elite class of students who sit in the Shriram College of Commerce, the best respected college across the country. My dear friends, go home, take a pledge. You have to take a paper, draw your roadmap, and from that roadmap you have to go ahead. The institute is fully equipped to help you. I want to tell you, when you go and teach people, you find some of them have failed persistently. If they fail, we have a facility at Board of Studies. Anyone amongst you can go to Board of Studies. Write an exam in 3 hours sitting there in the board. tender that exam for checking, and that paper would be checked, and they'll ask you to sit down and bring before you all your faults and fallacies. Any person who has not qualified for a long time, send him to Board of Studies. Let him write a paper. He will understand where he is, because at the IQ level, all of us are similarly at the same level. But when it comes to performance, when it comes to writing your exams, people fail. The institute has specific cells. Today my friend Atul Gupta is also coming. Chairman Board of Studies. We have an indirect tax committee, we have a direct tax committee, we have an international tax committee, we have a committee for financial markets and investor protection, we have internal standard board. Whichever area you want to go, the institute is keen to help you to ensure that you go ahead and perform. My dear friends, younger brothers and sisters, you are sitting at the opportune time. Just you have to raise your hand and reach to the pinnacles of success, which all people have always envied. You are in the right stance, start running. I remember in a school, if you go to school, you'll see races. छोटी सी लगाई जाती है लकीर, बच्चे अपना पैर रखते हैं, टीचर कहते हैं runners, on your marks, get set. Before she says go, student starts running, calls them back, reprimands them. अगली बार go कहने से पहले थोड़े तो डिस्क्वालीफाई कर दूंगी. दोबारा लकीर खींची जाती है, नन्हे नन्हे पैर दोबारा वहां होते हैं, टीचर दोबारा कहती है रनर्स ऑन योर मार्क्स गेट सेट परफॉर्मेंस. दिल में घंटी धड़कन बढ़ जाती है. शी सेज गो. Immediately after listening to go, in electrifying speed students start running. लेकिन 2 मिनट के बाद नजारा बिल्कुल मुख्तलिफ होता है. कुछ लोग आगे दौड़ रहे होते हैं, एक दूसरी जमात उनको सरपास करने के लिए और ताकत लगा रही होती है. लेकिन सबसे अफसोसजनक बात यह है कि एक तीसरी जमात होती है जो वहीं पर हाथ दरियाफ्त करके कोने पे बैठ जाती है कि इतनी दूर दौड़ के क्या करेंगे, हार तो चुके हैं, जब वापस आएंगे तो उनमें जुड़ जाएंगे. इट इज अवर माइंडसेट. It is the mindset of students. These words, your mission may sound very interesting, but you have to burn the midnight oil to ensure that you emerge a winner out of it. I want to thank you all, and particularly the SRCC Society, for giving me this opportunity to come and express my views before you. I dedicate myself for your cause. If you have any issue, you can write to me, you can speak to me, you have my mobile number, you can even write a mail to me. I want to tell you one thing, that not only your society, but I am also dedicating myself for the cause of the CA students of this country. Any issue you have, I am always available. Thank you so much.
I think Sir's address complements our theme, myriad roles, infinite challenges, one profession, Chartered Accountancy. Thank you so much, sir, for the enriching address. I now open Q&A round from the audience. Any questions are welcomed to address to the sir. Anyone who wants to ask a question, please raise your hand. Can someone please hand over the mic to this gentleman? Please stand up.
Sir, in this profession, is this important to coachings, to join coachings or self-study?
Would you introduce yourself? What's your name?
Sir, Sagar Puri.
Mr. Sagar, coaching is an artificial movement to drive you. If you feel you don't need coaching, I was speaking to Mohit Gupta yesterday. He said, I was working in office and I did not take a tax coaching. If you love doing research, if you love studying, coaching is not important. And at the institute, we have a board of studies. Of late, people have started leaving board of studies and going to other individual teachers. Mr. Sagar, if you start with a challenge, I can tell you one thing, that you will be number 1 ranker without coaching. And you will have the best of the knowledge which you can exhibit when you go to interviews. Our training curriculum is framed in such a manner, and you would have seen for past 3-4 years, students who have gone for dummy have not qualified. And wait for 2 more years. I can assure you one thing, that any person who goes for dummy, any person who does not go for practical training would not be able to suffice for qualifying as a chartered accountant. So coaching is not at all necessary. But if you feel that you are fumbling, if you feel that you need some help, I suggest You should not play with your career, you should go to the coaching.
Thank you, sir.
Any other volunteer who wants to ask a question?
Here. People who want to ask the question, please stand up. Then they'll be able to identify you. Please also introduce yourself.
Hello sir, my name is Rohit Jain and very good morning sir.
Morning.
Sir, my question, I believe that you must have answered this question a couple of times, but I am not satisfied with the answer. So sir, my question is, there are a couple of challenges, CA students face. So my question is, why CA students are paid peanuts in the articleship? Because there are a couple of challenges. The students from the humble background, they cannot afford, huge fees, to improve their communication skills. One must need money. The people sitting over here in the SRCC, they get communication skills. They learn communication skills because they are among the people who are brilliant. Their teachers improve them. But if a student who is, would have gone to the school of open learning or somewhere else that he's not getting improved their communication skills, how he would improve? Because he's not getting enough money to improve himself, right? So my question is just because IPCC intermediate level is not easy enough, and I believe that the one who passed the intermediate exam deserves money, at least 10,000 or 15,000 after a year, so that he can improve himself. So why we are not paid good enough?
Mr. Jain,
Yes, sir.
I'll answer this by way of a couplet. The couplet says, बुद्धों तारीफ है तुम पर, बुद्ध समझते हैं स्टैच्यू मुजस्मा, बुद्धों तारीफ है तुम पर, तरक्की इसको कहते हैं, न तराशे थे तो पत्थर थे, तराशे तो खुदा निकले. When you want more money, you do work which is substandard. The basic, let me answer, then you come with your point. The basic contention of CA articleship is that you have a great idea of everything and you are not attuned to a single job. If I pay you 20,000 rupees as stipend, I will want you to be master of one thing and perform that during 3 days, 3 years. I will not put you first in forensic audit, then send you for a GST pre-audit and then ask you to go for tribunal. If I put you in my office with a stipend of 15 to 20,000 rupees, I will desire how you have to work. If you go and look at a mid-sized firm, any article does everything, right from indirect taxes, direct taxes, audit, bank audit, stat audit, he does everything. And thereby, the office has to spend money in training that boy, which you call as induction. Mr. Jain, for communication, you don't need money. The stipend, I understand, is not very high. But the only issue is that that is only equivalent to your conveyance which you spend coming to office. It cannot be a source of salary like you. Big Four give good amount of stipend, that is there. And normal firms which ask that they'll give you good amount will give you work which is not commensurate for training for which you are interested yourself to the training firm.
Yes, sir, I do accept that, we learn couple of things. Initially, we are not aware about the, nuances of that field if I put it in taxation or into the audits. But after a year, we do get learned. I don't believe, sir, if I'm doing an audit for a year, and after a year, I won't be, in the end, I'll be doing a work, right?
No, Mr. Jain, I want to tell you that if you are doing audit, I'm ready to pay you any amount. But after a year, you want to go into direct tax, you want to make appeals for me, you want to accompany me to tribunal. Then you want to go to CSET, then you want to go to SAT, SEBI to me. It is not possible. If I keep you with money, I will see what you give back to me. If I take you as a trainee, I will ensure that I give best I can give you through the process of training. I can put you into accounting. You are all 1,000 times better than an accountant. I can pay you 25,000 rupees for 3 years. We don't want a rubber stamp as training. We want your personality to be versatile. We want you to understand each and every aspect of CA profession and all related areas.
Sir, but what about those firms who put you in a particular field? Like myself, I've done articleship with the internal audits only. Sir, I was doing internal audits for the 3 years only. But I was not paid good. I was doing the job. I was, after a year, I was working at par with a chartered accountant. So I don't believe, sir, I needed the money to improve myself.
I understand, Mr. Jain. At that time, you should have thought you should have gone for forensic audits. You should have gone for tax. The basic purpose why we have allowed secondment also. For example, if you are working in an inter-audit firm, you could always request them to send you to a tax firm or to an audit firm or to a management consulting firm. The basic purpose of articleship is to put you at a parlous where you do different types of work, and when you qualify, you are at a platform to perform as a chartered accountant, either in industry or in practice.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Can we have one last question?
Sir, hello sir, I am Shruti Sanghi and my question is, while pursuing CA, it becomes difficult to manage societies and other things in the CA and other things in the college, like we cannot take part in very much extracurricular activities. So how do we manage that?
Better the institute wants that when you do your CA, you are focused to articleship. If you are in such a beautiful college, do your college and then do your CA. I know so many people from your college who have always been in the merit. The reason is that they do not rush to do their articleship along with their college. That is why we came out with the regulation that if you don't reach office by 11, you are not allowed to do your CA. So once you are in the college, acquire all the skill which the college gives you. After doing your regulation, go for articleship. You will clear in 3 months. And I can tell you, if you have done your college from SRCC, every interviewer should be glad to keep you in his foray.
Okay sir, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, sir. So on your right.
Yes.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Morning.
It was an amazing speech. I just have a small question for you. I am a chartered accountant, and so in this changing time, there's I'm not sure that this is like just a gimmick or something, but this is the startup culture we are in right now, and particularly our institute does not have anything, some sort of incubation or some sort of nourishment for any idea CA has. If we go, it's okay, I'll not talk about the balance sheet or money terms, what the balance sheet of ICAI says or whatever the money is kept in. But if at least a small percentage of money is kept aside for this incubation thing, some such concepts can be introduced in which any among us has some idea, we get the appropriate funding and we just work on that direction with the guidance of every central council, every experienced CA. So that's what I feel would be walking in par with other professions. That's what I feel, because this is the era of building businesses, the startups, because the first thing which comes to your mind of CA when he wants to get funding or he wants to network is do an MBA or just go for a good B school. And I don't think that is needed actually after doing such a prestigious course like Chartered Accountancy. So what ideas do you have?
What's your name?
Gautam Gambhir.
Gautam, Iqbal was a very celebrated शायर. He wrote, मैं अकेला ही चला था जानिबे मंजिल, मैं अकेला ही चला था जानिबे मंजिल, लोग जुड़ते गए कारवां बनता गया. Gautam, the institute gives you that impetus, that training coupled with your educational qualification, that the moment you qualify, you are an entrepreneur. Institute cannot match your skills. Institute cannot match the money that has to be given to you. The institute is set up an act of parliament. And I will tell you one thing, what is institute? Institute is not the council who is sitting there, 32 members. Institute is all of us put together. I am institute, you are institute, hum sab institute hai. You all are brand ambassadors of this institute. When you need help, go to a maiden fund. Approach any senior chartered accountant and tell you one thing, he will extend his warm arms to ensure that you are pleased. This profession has something which you call as a legacy. Anybody can approach any senior chartered accountant. They will show you the right path. The institute cannot have funds, manage them, give it to people. You see, 90% of startups fail. So if the money is going down, who will take care of that? If you want to approach a maiden fund, there are so many funds who are very keen to help people with great ideas to go forth. And being a chartered accountant is always considered a feather in your cap. So I suggest that the knowledge which you have to exploit that and find right funds that could fund your movements, your business antiques, so that you are able to perform as an entrepreneur.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you so much, sir. I now request Dr. Naveen Mittal, Teacher in Charge, SRCC Wings of Fire, to present sir with a token of gratitude.
I want to tell you one thing before I end up. I was the chairman of committee of members in industry, and we have a jury for the young chartered accountant. The jury chairman was Mr. Birla, R.M. Birla. Mr. Birla came, his PA said he will come only for 10 minutes. He came at 9:30 in the morning and left at close to 4 o'clock in the evening. He said, I never wanted to do chartered accountancy. My father forced me to do CA. And he said that I could bring this empire to this level because after doing my CA, I thought that I was flooded with ideas to create more businesses. So these ideas will help you move ahead. Please understand, the entire industry where you have chartered accountants have grown high manifold. Thank you so much.